So the priceless question is this: how are average people like us that play by the rules, going to school, listening to our parents, having to just settle in life, working day to day to make ends meet, but how are we now making above average income, getting massive cash flow, and having the time freedom to do what we want, when we want, and how we want? That's the real question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Maurice Trimble Jr., aka the Rich Lab Rat, and welcome to Clinical Study Secrets. Greetings, everybody. Maurice Trimble, Rich Lab Rat here, and welcome. Welcome to the second episode of the Clinical Study Secrets podcast. I am your host, Maurice Trimble, the Rich Lab Rat, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for tuning in. Labor Day weekend is over. A lot of people is knowing the woes. They're feeling the pros, the cons. They're feeling all the different things about going back to work, clocking back in, punching that clock, right? Like I said, that's what helps make what I do so paramount, so epic for many, many others in America, because I love sharing another way. It's no different than Russell Brunson talking about whether it's any kind of thing on marketing and advertising, whether it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, author, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, talking about ways of how to, you don't want a job, you want ways to cut loose from that. Myself have joined the clergy with these individuals looking at, hey, there's a way, there's a better way. It's just a lot of people don't know what that way is, right? So that's hence the reason why I'm here. The Clinical Study Secrets podcast, everybody, if it's your first time tuning in, this is a show that we talk about everything and anything dealing with clinical studies, right? And the secrets to those studies that everybody doesn't want to share, right? But I like to take the lid off. I've always been a rebel, so to speak. I'm from Las Vegas, so running rebels, right? And I've always loved to be like, you know what? Let's kick the door open. Let's open up Pandora's box. Share with so many people what a lot of people like to keep secret and don't like to share. You know, there's a lot of things entailing with making money in America, and this is just one way I have found that if you're healthy, if you're a person that likes some income, extra money coming in, maybe if you want money to even just change your situation, money for vacation, leisure money, money for business that you're looking to want to launch, money to, like for me, that'll change your situation totally. If you're homeless and it seems hopeless, where there's nothing and nobody that can help you. Hence, this is the reason for this podcast. This is the reason that I have come across your path to be able to hopefully share some things with you with these clinical studies that can change everything for you. You know, I always say, there's nothing that happens for just out of spite. Everything happens for a reason. God is good all the time, right? It is my belief that, everything happens for a reason. So, thank you. If you've come across this podcast, thank you for your support. If you know about this podcast and share it with others, thank you so much, right? We're looking to help so many people to be able to be in this world and not have to look at money as a reason for a situation for not to do better or not to have more or not to have better, right? That's just, I don't, it's something that really irks me, you know what I mean? When knowing that there's a better way, right? We do these podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So please mark it on your calendars. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when we do these podcasts. And me and my team, we look to help to usher out many people as possible to understand about these clinical studies, right? So you might be wondering, Maurice, what is Clinical Study Secrets? What is it about if it's your first time, right? Let's talk about something. Next week, there's a study for Fortrea, right? It's a clinical study out in Daytona Beach, Florida, Dallas, Texas, and Madison, Wisconsin, right? The study I'm talking about in particular is for $15,000. It's for Madison, Wisconsin. Next week, it checks in for 30 days. Now, you might be saying, Maurice, 30 days? Good Lord, that's a long time. You mean to tell me I got to be away from my friends and family and people that care about me and people that really, really, that they need me, my kids, loved ones, things of this nature that need me. And I'm here to say, my friends, that I totally understand. I had the same thought process a long time ago. When it comes to something like this, there's different things you got to think of. You got to take into account, right? There's sacrifices got to be made. Sometimes it's not always a good thing that you have to be away. Sometimes you can't be away. So I'm saying there's different studies for different people, right? There's studies that's inpatient where you stay a long time, right? You get a big pay, $15,000 for 30 days. Some people are like, that's pretty darn good, right? But some people can't stay that long. So what about their studies for 1 week that might pay $3, $4, $5,000? There's some studies that's for maybe 2 weeks, $6, $7, $8,000. The bottom line is what we're talking about here on this podcast is to help you, the listener, the viewer, if it is being streamed on video as well, to be able to understand how you can obtain them, how you can find where these studies are, how you can know about them, right? How you know the secrets, which is all the ins and outs that I love to share, right? To being able to do this, to do it safely, to do it comfortably, to do it to where it can really change your life for the better. That's what we're talking about here. And when you have a successful experience, hence that's the reason why a lot of us have kept on doing them over and over and over and over and over again, right? So they get back to the Fortrea, 15,000 for 30 days is something I was checking out. I was thinking that, man, there's a lot of people that can know about this, and there's plenty others that's been coming as well that come across. So just know I'm always going to be, I have a lot of interviews on the horizon. If anybody has seen the trailer, the last episode I did, go check that out if you haven't seen it. It's mainly just speaking about, just giving a lot of my backstory and talking about what it's all about on here. I'm going to reiterate again that yes, we'll be having a lot of interviews coming. A lot of people lined up. I'm already getting the calendar together, so it's going to be great and bring you all some good value, some great value. A lot of different interviews, a lot of different people talking about different facilities that I really want to bring to you all, so you can know about different facilities. Interviews from 5-figure earners, from 6-figure earners of doing this. Is something that is recession proof, as I like to say, right? Because as long as, even when the coronavirus shutdown was happening in America, there was still studies going on. Right? I remember I was at worldwide clinical trials, I never forget, for 2 months in San Antonio, Texas. Around that time when people was running frantic, looking for toilet paper and looking for water and, like like the world was ending or something, right? But it was some crazy times, that pandemic. Wow. But a lot of us was making a lot of money, right? It just depends on which side that you're on, right? There's people that was making money in the clinical study situation, whereas there was other people that was, with the coronavirus situation that was going on, struggling. People were dying, people were hurting. So I totally get it, but, like I said, you found the right podcast. If you're looking for ways of making extra money without menial work. We're talking about the work is it's literally like a mitigation of literally zero to none, because you're just a healthy individual testing out name brand versus generic type of drugs, investigational drugs, different types of things of this nature. And they have nurses, they have doctors, they have a lot of people on staff on site to make sure you're fine, that there's nothing going on. Right? You have EKGs, you have vitals, you have blood work being done. There's different things. So it's kind of in essence that you're getting a free physical. You're getting free medical expertise on one side, and on the other side, you're getting paid, right? You know what I mean? Mega money as well. So how can that help you right now? How can I help your business right now? I mean, what could that do for you? It could change a lot of things in your life, I'm pretty sure. So if that's you, and if it's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to keep tuning in to this podcast. You're going to learn much, much more to help you to exceed your expectations of what you might have wanted to have, the milestones and the goals that you want to hit in your life. All right? Clinical studies is for you. I'm an advocate of it. I've been doing it for so long, over a decade. I've put in my 10,000 hours, so to speak, as they say, in studies. And my job right now is to share with so many of you to help many, many others as possible. I would like to help 1,000 people if I can before the end of this year, 2025. Then 2026, Lord's will, who knows how many people I can help. The bottom line of it is I'm here for you to share anything and everything about studies. And I just hope that everybody takes full swing of it, Before I leave, I want to give you a good conversation that I had with a young lady as I was calling Spectrum today to cancel some service because I'm looking to relocate another area. And the young lady just is in North Carolina, the call center. And when we were talking on the phone as she was completing my order, she was talking about, what is it that I do? And I told her, well, I'm a rich lab rat. I'm a clinical study professional. Mainly, I'm an entrepreneur, of course. I'm an investor. But I told her, she said, clinical studies. I've heard of that before. And I told her a lot of things about it. I gave her my elevator pitch, if you will. All right. But when she saw how powerful the clinical studies was, when she heard what he's talking about him, speaking about how most people after Labor Day, they're back at work again. And they're doing the same old that they've been doing for the longest time. Some people are looking for a way out. They just haven't found it. And she heard me speaking about this, about clinical studies could be for anybody. It could be for many people, different walks of life. Like I said, some people, it could be like me to the extreme. Some people are homeless right now. You know that? There's friends and family that that could be going through something right now, whether it's pain, whether it's hardship, financial hardship. But you would never know because they might not tell you. They might not let you know about this. How many people do you know that deep down their situation and what's going on? Sometimes people don't share these things with you, right? That's the reason why they have like on suicide watch and things of this nature sometimes with people that do substance abuse and people that do alcohol abuse, is because you never know what's going on in someone's life, because a lot of times individuals don't open up, right? They're quiet about these things. They look to fight these battles and demons on their own, right? So when we were sharing this on the phone, you can tell that the light bulb was going off. I could tell that the wheels were turning in her mind, even over the phone, right? Mind you. And she was speaking about, wow, so what you're saying is true. Everybody can be doing clinical studies. Everybody in America, a lot of people can utilize this. How come this is not out there like that? How come it's not shared and known? And I said the same thing. Hence the reason why I'm bringing a membership to the fold. I'm bringing a awareness for clinical studies, not just for a membership and study alerts, things that come along with that. That's to be coming real soon, right? Can't wait to share that with you all later. But also this podcast, social media, spreading the message. I'm going to be doing events, a lot of things soon enough because people need to know about it. Exactly. My sentiments exactly as I told her. And she said, I'm going to look into that. And I said, yes, I'm glad that you definitely will, and definitely feel free. Look at my social wherever, the Rich Lab Rat. Look me up. I'm all over socials, and you might be surprised what you see. It might be something that you could take advantage of, because anybody that's working a job, unless you're doing a job that you love, and she was good at her job in North Carolina, the young lady did an excellent job. Excellent. I think about it like, wow, there's so many people that have great skills, great communication skills, great a knack for customer relations, public relations, things of this nature. They could be doing business for themselves. If only they had some clinical studies, maybe put some money in their pocket, get their bank account to look much, much better, right? To manifest a bigger amount, a lump sum. Then they can fix credit. They could get business credit. They can get a lot of things established, have a business, use those skills to be able to help them have a business to help other people, and they can have time freedom. That's it. Game over. All right. So, with all that being said, it was a great call. It ended on a good note. And I'm glad that I could put a little, plant the seed in her mind to understand how powerful clinical studies are, how great it could be to help her as well as her family going forward. She's going to look into it. And I hope that she does, the young lady. I don't want to make these too long. In the very beginning, I'm making these podcasts very short and sweet. Pretty soon, when I do interviews and different things of that nature, then we'll get into the meat and the gristle, the bear, when the rubber meets the road, so to speak, as they say, to get a lot of people to understand fully how much value. I'm here to bring a lot of value to you, a lot of value to the listener, to the seer, so you can understand exactly how these clinical studies could help change your life. Like I said, nobody has to do it as long as I did it. Right? I don't expect people to do this for years and years and decades. And that's not for everybody to do it that long. But how could one clinical study help you? How could just one clinical study? That's why I like to say you're one study away. I love to say you're one study away. Just one study away. It could be one study that changes everything. One study could turn around a marriage. One study could turn around a relationship. One study could turn around your bank account, so there's no more financial hardship. One study can get you back in touch with your kids. One study can get you back connected with them, right? To have that bond that you might have always wanted to have. One study can help your situation go from homeless shelter to go to that house of your dreams. one study. Think about that, right? I leave you with that. And without further ado, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Hope that everybody is too blessed to be stressed. Definitely obsessed with success, and these are my after Labor Day thoughts as well. I know a lot of people are back at work, so I wish you the best. Be safe out there. And as we always say here, me and my team, smile, say cheese. I'm going to show you how to get that cheese. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you. You want the secrets to clinical study trials? Then go get my free Clinical Study Secrets guide at clinicalstudysecrets.com. Inside this guide, you'll see me crush the 12 false beliefs that hold people back in life. But you'll also discover how to become a rich lab rat so you too can escape the rat race.